Welcome students. We are going to discuss second chapter of Beehive, that is the sound of music. This chapter has two parts. We are going to discuss the first part. That is Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it by Deborah Cowley. So Deborah Cowley was the writer of this part. Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. So we will focus on the author. This is Deborah Mason Cowley, is a freelance writer and a broadcaster also. She grew up in Toronto, graduated from the University of Western Ontario, and moved to Ottawa to work for the Unitarian Service Committee. Unitarian Service Committee. She spent 2 years with UNHCR, United Nations Relief and Works Agency. Is bereft before moving back to Ottawa and a job with CIDA. As she traveled the world with her diplomat husband, she worked as a reporter for CBC Radio in Washington, D.C., and on a posting to Cairo. She worked on several TV documentaries for CBC's Man Alive. So this is the brief introduction of about author, that is Deborah Cowley. And basically Cowley was a writer, freelance writer and broadcaster. She traveled the world with her diplomat husband and worked as a reporter in CBC Radio. She also spent her 2 years with the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. So this is the very brief introduction of the writer, that is Deborah Cowley, and she has written the first part of this sound of music. Okay, now come to introduction of this part. Now see, before going through the chapter, we'll focus on this statement. What does it mean? God may have taken her hearing. Her here refers to Glennie, Evelyn Glennie, but he has given her back something extraordinary. Given her back something extraordinary. Meaning is this: Glennie was not able to hear, but she had done something that is extraordinary. What we hear, she feels. She refers to Glennie far more deeply than any of us. You see the contradiction when we see the title of this part, then there is a contradiction. Glennie has no hearing power, but she can listen. How does she listen? That is the story. A girl who is without hearing power, but she can hear. How does it take place? We will see. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. One line is given: what we hear, she feels. What we hear, she feels. She feels what? She feels the vibration of the sound. And that's why she expresses music so beautifully. So this is the statement regarding Glennie, who has no hearing power, but she can feel the sound, she can feel the music, so she can express herself most beautifully. Okay, इस पार्ट में हम देखे हैं कि गॉड ने क्या किया. गॉड हैज़ टेकन अवे द हियरिंग पावर ऑफ ग्लेनी. ग्लेनी कांट हियर, बट she can feel the sound. Okay, and this chapter will see how does it take place. How does Glennie express herself? How does she react towards the sound? She can't listen, she can't hear, but she feel the sound. How does it take place? That is the story. And another important message of this part is that we should be bold, we should be courage, we should be hopeful as Glennie was. Glennie was determined. Glennie had a firm determination to do something. She was impaired. She was not able to hear, but she had done something extraordinary in her life. Okay, that is the story. From the life of Glennie, we can make conclusion that impairment is not the hurdle in the path of success. Impairment is not the hurdle in the path of success. Success cannot be stopped with the presence of impairment. Glennie was not able to hear, but she has done something extraordinary. What she has done, we will see. How did she do it, we will see. What sort of courage she has shown, we will see in this chapter. The message of this part is that impairment is not the hurdle in the path of success. We should be hopeful. We should be hopeful in our life. We must have a optimistic view in our life. हमारे जीवन में हमें आशावादी होना चाहिए. इम्पेयरमेंट, किसी प्रकार की इम्पेयरमेंट जो है सक्सेस के रास्ते में कोई भी रुकावट नहीं होती है. इस पॉइंट को ग्लेनी ने प्रूफ किया. ग्लेनी सुन नहीं पाती थी, लेकिन फिर भी उसने साउंड को महसूस किया और कुछ एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी थिंग उसने कुछ की. वो क्या थी, वो हम लोग इस चैप्टर में देखेंगे. सी, this is the beginning of this chapter. You see, rush hour, crowds jostle means push roughly for position on the underground train platform. So you see the platform, what happened, people gathered there. Generally it happens in the railway station, in the platform, what happened, people gather there in order to get their seat. So that was the scene of platform. There was a huge crowd and everyone is pushing each other in order to get seat in the train. A slight means lean and thin, small and thin girl, a slight girl, looking younger than her 17 years, was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. She felt the vibration of approaching the train. Others people can listen the sound of the train, but Glennie was not able to listen or hear the sound of the train. She felt the vibration of the coming train. So here we see that Glennie was lean and thin. She was standing, on the platform in order to get seat. She was waiting for the train, and when train arrived, she felt its vibration. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London. First day of prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London. And daunting here means frightening enough for any teenager, a person who in his teens. Teenager refers to the children who belongs to the age 13 to 19, that is teenager. fresh from a Scottish farm. But this aspiring musician means a person who wants to be a musician. Aspiring musician means a person who wants to be a musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deep. Profoundly deep means deeply, absolutely deep. So here in this paragraph we have seen that Glennie was standing on the platform. She was waiting for the train, and when the train arrived, uh, she felt the vibration of approaching train, and she was going towards the Royal Academy of Music in London. She was frightened just like a teenager, and she was from Scottish. And this aspiring musician here refers to Glennie, who had a desire to become a musician. She had a big challenge. She was profoundly deep. She was totally deaf. तो इस पूरे पैराग्राफ में देखते हैं कि ग्लेनी प्लेटफॉर्म पे खड़ी है. प्लेटफॉर्म पे काफ़ी भीड़ है. लोग ट्रेन में अपनी सीट लेने के लिए एक दूसरे को पुश कर रहे हैं. और जब ट्रेन आती है तो ग्लेनी उसके वाइब्रेशन को महसूस करती है. और ये ग्लेनी का पहला दिन है रॉयल एकेडमी ऑफ म्यूजिक लंदन में, और वो थोड़ी सी डरी हुई है. और ये एस्पायरिंग म्यूजिशियन के सामने बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है, क्योंकि वो पूरी तरह से क्या है, डीफ है. नाउ कम टू नेक्स्ट वन. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. By birth she was not deaf. She had lost her hearing power gradually. What happened we will see. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. When Glennie was 8 years old, at that time she was waiting for playing piano. Her mother noticed this. They called her name. Parents of Glennie called her name and she did not move. I suddenly realized she had not heard. Means mother or parents realized that she had not heard their voice. Says Isabel Glennie. Isabel Glennie was the mother of Evelyn Glennie. When Glennie was 8-year old, what happened? Isabel Glennie called her name, but she did not receive any response from Glennie. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. Now, Glennie had also concealed her growing deafness from her friends and teachers. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated. Deteriorated means worsened. And her headmistress urged means told her parents to take her to a specialist. It was then discovered that her hearing power was severely impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage. So this is the cause how she had lost her hearing power. Due to the nerve damage, what happened? Glennie had lost her hearing power. So here in this particular paragraph, we have seen how her mother, Isabel Glennie, noticed the losing of hearing power of Glennie. She noticed how Glennie had lost her hearing power. When Glennie was 8 years old, what happened? She called her name. Parents called her name, but she did not respond. Further, Glennie was successful in hiding, in concealing the growing deafness from friends and teachers. But when she was 11 years old, what happened? Her marks had deteriorated. Her marks had worsened. At that time, the headmistress called her parents and advised them to take her to a specialist. It was then discovered, means at the age of 11, it was discovered that due to nerve damage, Glennie had lost her hearing power. Remember, Glennie had lost her hearing power because of the nerve damage. One thing you also remember, by birth, Glennie was not deaf. Okay, she has lost her hearing power gradually. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids, you understand, equipments, and sent to a school for the deaf. And further, parents were also advised that she should be fitted with uh, equipments, hearing equipments, and she should be sent to a school for the deaf. Evelyn says everything suddenly looked black. Mother says, oh, it was totally black before her because it was not expected that Lenny had lost her hearing power totally. So here, especially in this paragraph, we have noticed when it was noticed that Glennie had lost her hearing power. When it was first noticed, when Glennie was 8 years old, parents called her name, but she did not respond. So this is the time when it was noticed that her hearing power has lost. Secondly, we have seen that Evelyn Glennie was successful in hiding, in concealing her hearing, her growing hearing power, growing deafness, growing deafness from parents and teachers. Further, when she was 11 years old, what happened? Headmistress called her parents and advised her to take her to a specialist. It was the time when it was noticed that Glennie had lost her hearing power. Further, they were advised that Glennie should be taken to the school, a special school that is for the deaf. इस पूरे पैराग्राफ में हम देखते हैं कि एलन ग्लेनी अपनी हीरिंग पावर लूज कर गई है। इसका सबसे पहले पता उस समय चलता है जब वो 8 वर्ष की रहती है, जब वो पियानो प्ले करने के लिए बैठी हुई है और पेरेंट्स उसको बुलाते हैं लेकिन उसका कोई रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं करती है। दूसरी चीज़, जब वो 11 ईयर्स की होती है तो ये पाया जाता है उसका मार्क्स जो है काफ़ी लो होता चला जा रहा है। तब हेड मिस्ट्रेस पेरेंट्स को बुलाती है और उनको बताती है कि इनका मार्क्स काफ़ी कम है और इसकी जो हीरिंग पावर है वो कम होती जा रही है, आपको कंसल्ट करना चाहिए स्पेशलिस्ट से। तब ये पता चलता है कि ग्लेनी जो है अपनी हीरिंग पावर खो चुकी है क्योंकि नर्व डैमेज के कारण। फिर से बताया जाता है, उनके पेरेंट्स को बताया जाता है कि हियरिंग इक्विपमेंट्स के द्वारा सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा, लेकिन ग्लेनी को स्पेशल स्कूल जाना होगा जो ऐसे बच्चों के लिए हो जो डीफ हो। ये सुन करके एवलिन की मदर जो है काफ़ी परेशान होती है। सो दैट इज़ द पार्ट विच वी हैव डिस्कस्ड। Understand? So here one thing you must remember, that in this particular paragraph we have seen how it was noticed that Glennie had lost her hearing power. It happened because of the nerve damage. Okay, now come to next. See, but Evelyn was not going to give up. As I told you, Glennie was hopeful. This shows Evelyn had determination. Although Evelyn got such a shocking news, still she was determined and she did not want to give up. This was a shocking news for Glennie, that she had lost her hearing power because of nerve damage. But she had not given up. She had not given up his hope. She was hopeful. She was determined to lead a normal life. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. Her interest was in music and she continued it. One day she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. One day what happened? She saw that one girl was playing xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. Now this was a contradiction for Glennie, because Glennie was deaf and it was not easy for her to play xylophone. Most of teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes spotted her potential. All the percussionists, all the teachers discouraged her that she can't play uh, xylophone, but there was only one percussionist, that is Ron Forbes, who noticed her potential. इस पार्ट में हम देखते हैं कि जब ये पता चलता है ग्लेनी को कि वो अपनी हीरिंग पावर खो चुकी है, तो उसे बहुत दुख होता है, लेकिन वो उसको सो नहीं करती है, वो अपने आशा नहीं छोड़ती है और अपने डिटर्मिन बनी रहती है। वो इस बात की डिटर्मिन है कि वो एक नॉर्मल लाइफ जिएगी और अपना इंटरेस्ट वो बनाए रखेगी म्यूजिक में, उसको पाएगी। एक दिन क्या होता है, उसको देखती है कि एक लड़की क्या xylophone प्ले कर रही है और वो चाहती कि वो भी xylophone प्ले करे, लेकिन ये संभव नहीं दिख रहा है क्योंकि वो उसकी हियरिंग पावर नहीं है। फिर भी वो निश्चय करती है कि क्या करेगी, वो xylophone प्ले करेगी। सारे टीचर्स उसको डिस्करेज करते हैं। एक परक्यूशनिस्ट है, अ पर्सन हु प्लेज तबला एंड ऑल दिस थिंग, दैट इज कॉल्ड परक्यूशनिस्ट। रॉन फॉर्ब्स है जिसने नोटिस किया उसके पोटेंशियल को। ओके, so that is the part which we have discussed today.